No one noticed the boy the night the house burned. How a building full of screaming people could vanish into sirens and smoke without anyone remembering the thin child standing barefoot across the road, ash settling on his hair like gray snow. The neighbors would later argue about the time, the wind, the color of the flames. None of them would remember him, not his eyes, not the small, patient smile. He had learned early that pain teaches silence. The house had never been a home. It was a place where doors slammed like verdicts and footsteps meant hunger or bruises, depending on whose boots crossed the floor. His father's brothers came and went with their families, taking up space, taking up air. They called him boy as if his name had been misplaced along with mercy. Meals were counted. Apologies were demanded. Punishments were shared like heirlooms. When his mother died, quietly without drama, the men decided grief was an inconvenience. The boy became a vessel for their anger, their debts, their failures. They taught him obedience with belts and laughter, taught him how to clean blood from tile, how to hold his breath when he cried so no one would hear. They taught him something else too, though they didn't know it. They taught him how to watch. At night, he learned the architecture of the house, the soft click of the back window, the way the stairs sang under a man's weight, the kitchen drawer that stuck unless you lifted it just so. He learned how lies change pitch when they were spoken by different mouths. He learned the habits people repeat when they think they are safe. He learned that cruelty leaves fingerprints. The boy kept a ledger under the loose board beneath his mattress. It was not a diary. There were no feelings in it, only facts, names, dates, who raised a hand, who laughed, who turned away. Next to each name, a symbol, a coin for theft, a blade for blows, an eye for witnesses who chose blindness. On the night the house burned, the ledger was already full. They said it was an accident, faulty wiring. Old houses burn easily, they said, as if age were a confession. 3 adults died. 2 children were pulled from the smoke alive. The boy was listed among the missing, then among the dead, then quietly removed from both lists when no one could remember seeing him at all. Years passed. The town smoothed itself over the wound. The families spread out like seeds carried by wind. New jobs, new houses, new churches, new children. They spoke of the past only when it was convenient, sanding it down to a story about hardship overcome. They slept. The boy did not. He grew into a man in the spaces between places, work that paid cash, rooms with locks he installed himself. He learned other ledgers, property records, court filings, insurance policies. He learned how systems fail not with noise, but with paperwork. He learned patience so deep it looked like mercy. When he returned, he did not knock. The first to pay was the uncle who taught him how to bleed without sound. The man had prospered as cruel men often do. A business, a family portrait by the door. The boy entered as a consultant with a borrowed name and a briefcase full of solutions. He did not threaten. He did not shout. He showed the man the ledger of his own life. Debts hidden under accounts, corners cut, signatures forged by confidence. "You can fix this," the boy said gently, as if offering a blanket. The man tried. He failed. The company collapsed with a whimper, not a scream. Employees sued. Partners testified. The man's wife learned the shape of her husband's secrets from strangers. Their children learned how fast friends disappear. The boy watched from a cafe across the street, stirring sugar into a cup he did not drink. The second was an aunt who had mastered the art of punishment by omission. She believed hunger built character. The boy arrived as a volunteer from a charity she publicly supported. He praised her generosity. He asked questions. He listened. He filed reports with the kind of care that turns small irregularities into investigations. The charity was shut down. The press used words like mismanagement and betrayal. The aunt's name was spoken aloud, over and over, until it felt like a sentence. Her husband lost his job. Their daughter changed schools. Their son learned how to lower his eyes. The boy crossed another name from his ledger. One by one they fell, not to knives or bullets, but to mirrors held steady. The cousin who had enjoyed the cruelty learned how the internet remembers. The neighbor who had known and done nothing learned how silence looks in court. Each reckoning was tailored, precise, unavoidable. It would be easy to say the boy became a monster. That would make the story comfortable. But monsters act without memory. He did not. He visited the children left behind, not as himself, never as himself, but as a teacher, a counselor, a distant relative with a kind face and strict boundaries. He paid for school fees anonymously. He arranged therapy through organizations that asked no questions. He did not apologize. He did not explain. Justice, he believed, should never widen the circle of harm. When the last name was crossed from the ledger, the boy, now a man, returned to the place where the house had been. The lot was empty, grass pushing through old foundations. He knelt and pried up the soil until he found the blackened remains of the board that had once hidden his book. He burned the ledger page by page. Ash rose into the evening air, harmless, unremembered. He felt nothing like triumph, only a quiet settling, as if a weight had been placed down carefully rather than dropped. In the town, people would later say a pattern had emerged, then argue about whether it meant anything at all. They would search for a culprit who fit their idea of evil. They would not find him. Some nights when the wind carries smoke from distant fires, someone will swear they see a thin figure standing across the road watching. But no one notices him.